The CH-53 Sea Stallion entered service with the U.S. Marines in 1966. It was followed with service in the U.S. Navy. In March 1967, the U.S. Air Force acquired its first CH-53. The basic CH-53 design has over the years been updated into numerous configurations. Some of these updated CH-53s are still flying with the U.S. military. Some 45 years later, the MH-53M was the largest, most powerful, and most sophisticated helicopter the U.S. Air Force used in the 1974 to 2008 period. M stands for multi-mission and H stands for helicopter. The M after the 53 stands for the model. The MH-53M had two basic missions: to covertly enter enemy territory and rescue a downed pilot, and to covertly insert special forces into enemy territory to carry out commando-type raids. It was capable of carrying out these missions in the day or night, or in good or bad weather. It could conduct these missions flying at treetop level, or what is called contour flying. They could fly up and down and over hills and down valleys in the middle of the night. The helicopter could carry 38 combat-equipped troops. It has an external cargo hook that can lift 20,000 pounds. The MH-53M was used in the Vietnam War. Later, it was used in the invasion of Panama in 1989, then in the Persian Gulf War in 1990 to 1991. Finally, it was used in the Afghanistan War beginning in 2001 and in the Iraq War beginning in 2003. The MH-53M's last combat mission was flown in 2008. It had been in service with the U.S. Air Force for 34 years. What made the MH-53M different was its advanced computer and electronic system package. Part of the system involved sensors all around its body. These sensors could detect if the helicopter was being scanned by enemy radar, could detect if an enemy missile was coming at it. It could detect if the missile was radar-guided or infrared-guided and take appropriate countermeasures. The MH-53M would release chaff to confuse a radar-guided missile. It would release flares to confuse an infrared missile. Boxes mounted on the rear sides of the helicopter stored the chaff and flare dispensers. It also had a large infrared generator on each side. These sat on the arm the drop fuel tanks were attached to. This system defeats heat-seeking missiles with pulses of high-intensity infrared energy by jamming their seekers. The Pavelow program installed an infrared scope, and infrared scope provided an infrared picture of the ground the helicopter flew over. With it, one could see human bodies, vehicles, and other objects. Everything gives off heat. The infrared sensor was good for night flying. A radar scope provided a ground picture in bad weather, when there were thick clouds or heavy rain. It was Doppler radar that could also show a picture of the weather ahead. The helicopter received satellite feeds that provided ongoing intelligence reports about potential enemy threats, such as radar and missile sites ahead. When flying at treetop level, especially at night, it is difficult to keep one's bearings. The MH-53M had a computerized GPS system that displayed on a map the helicopter's position and the best route it should take. Specifications for the Sikorsky MH-53M Pavelow 4 are crew of 6, 2 pilots, 2 flight engineers, and 2 aerial gunners. Armament. It could have either 3 .30 caliber Gatling guns or 3 .50 caliber machine guns. 2 of the weapons would be placed in windows near the cockpit. The third weapon would be placed on the rear door ramp. It had 2 turbine engines, each producing 4,330 horsepower. The rotor diameter is 72 feet, length of body 88 feet, height 25 feet, speed 165 miles per hour, ceiling 16,000 feet, range 690 miles. However, this could be extended by in-air refueling. Maximum weight in emergency wartime, 50,000 pounds.